everybody. Welcome to the Players Take episode 324. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined, as always, by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you this week, sir?
I am super tired this week.
Yeah, long work week?
Yeah, I think this is probably my first day back into the office. Like every day I've been outside the office doing stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
uh, yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week for me.
Yeah,
So
you're
yeah,
still doing the work sites right now, or?
yeah, because I haven't found someone to take my place yet.
Ah, gotcha.
Um,
It's one of those deals. Okay.
yeah. So it's a whole thing. It's a lot of stuff I'll say offline actually, but it's a whole
Okay,
thing going on
fair
right
enough.
now. But yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. It's been we had the holiday Monday, which was nice. So it's been a shorter work week, but I'm actually going on vacation next week, and gonna be going to the beach. So looking forward to that. I won't be missing any shows though. The trips lined up where I can still record. So may need to record on Wednesday though next week actually, but
Okay.
otherwise should be fine. We're traveling Friday morning, so I'm not gonna want to be up too late on Thursday. Um, so, but yeah, so looking forward to that coming up. And then we did our grown man slumber party at my house this weekend, which was fun. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I had a good time.
Okay. You happy that we're done with Oathsworn finally?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm ready to move on from that game and play something else. Kind of excited actually what we will go to next. Um, we got a lot of options, so
Yeah.
that'll be fun when we next meet up. Okay, well, it sounds like you don't want to mince words today, so let's just get into the show proper here. Start
I
talking
just
about
follow your
video
cue.
games. You
I
know,
just follow your cue. That's it.
okay, fair enough. Well, that usually when that happens, that means we just need to get into the games talk. So we'll do that now. So, for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Players Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, Montreal, let's start the show like we always do with what we've been playing, and then we'll get into the rest of the show here. So I've only been playing two things. Is that kind of the same boat for you right now?
Yeah. Yep.
So when was the last time this happened where we had played exactly the same games in a given week? I feel like that doesn't happen very often, but
Honestly, it shouldn't have happened this year. I mean, it's so many games that came out this year. I just literally haven't had time to play any video games, and only reason I did play video games because my wife literally told me to uh stop studying and take a break from everything. So that's
yeah.
why I'm playing video games. So
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's start with League, I guess, since we've both been playing League. We've been doing some flex. And how you feeling about the flex team?
uh,
Is
I
our
think yesterday.
ceiling as high as Salty can carry us? Is it as simple as that?
No, I think what we should do is um we should start building a team around Salty, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I understand he's one of the best player. He's one of the better players on our team. He's the best player on our team, as far as climbing.
Yeah.
But if he picks a character, I'm not
We
saying
have
he's
to
a
have a
one trick
comp.
pony.
We have to have a
Yeah,
comp built around making that work. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm not saying he's a one trick pony. I'm just saying if he's not playing his best character, then he's almost on the same level as us a little bit. Um,
Well,
so
when we're playing our best characters,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
I mean
So
and I mean his Yi is like, I mean, it can be countered. It's
yeah,
definitely a counterable champ for sure. So
yeah. So I think we in my so what happened yesterday was we plateaued a little bit yesterday, and then I think we broke new ground at the last bit of it yesterday.
yeah, yeah,
Um, which I mean, teams require us to argue a little bit about certain stuff. So even though we actually had a good day yesterday, um, I was really trying to hammer home that how we should all like. Even I stepped outside my comfort zone and picked like I usually don't pick Silas anymore, but he's a team
Yeah.
champion. I can
Yeah.
play in the team comps, and I picked Galio as well. So like, I don't know that comp that we did with the Galio Malphite. That shit like
Oh, that was
last yesterday.
fucking nasty, dude. Goddamn. I was watching it happen. I'm walking up to attack because Andy had ulted, right? And they're all stunned and knocked up into the air. And then I see you all. Now, in my head, I was like, I hadn't put it together yet what that was going to look like. And then I see it happening, and I'm like, dude, this is disgusting. Like, this is fucking, this is like ridiculous. Because he got like 4 people in his ult, dude.
Yep.
Knocked him up. And then you got all 4 as well right afterwards, knocked the same people up, and the fight was like a fucking joke. Like we just clean up after that, you know.
And then Jet ulted, and then Salty
Oh
did
my
his Alpha
god,
Strike, and then you did your bomb, and like we got all of them. It was crazy.
Disgusting, dude.
And they quit right after that fight. They quit. All of them immediately quit.
No, that was the best. That was probably one of the best fights we've had. Period. I think since we started playing Flex, like it was very coordinated. It was really it was something to watch. I was very impressed with us.
Yeah, and I was actually so happy.
You mentioned me last, and you should have. I didn't contribute almost anything to that. I just shot people. You know, it was like it was all set up. They were all lined up. You know, it was like it was beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm so glad it actually happened like live because that's what I was talking about. But as far as comps, like we have to have comps like that, whether it be gimmick comps or like a knock up comp or something like that. And then just imagine if Jet had like Oriana, he probably could have.
Dude, if I was playing Yasuo or something, you know, like
Yeah.
think about that. I was like thinking about that afterwards. I was like, fuck, man, like I'm the one that doesn't synergize here amongst all of us, like with what you did. Like it just like kind of synergizes, but I have to like almost preemptively put the bomb on before the ult happens, you know,
Yeah.
for it to hit everybody. So it's like, yeah, I know. I was just trying to think of a character I could play. Like, I mean, Varus would work well, probably, actually.
Varus would work well in that comp. Nyla.
Jin with the bouncing, you know, with the Q.
Yeah. Yep, Jin. Nyla would have been crazy in that comp because she could have just swirled
Lord have mercy. Oh god. I can imagine the ult, bro. They all get clustered up and Jet's ult's just tearing them to shreds. Oh man. So that was a really strong comp. I like that a lot. I did actually. So no, I mean I agree with you. I think the thing I'm getting a little annoyed with, I feel like nobody listens to anything I say because I'm the ADC. You know, it's just like, oh, Justin's the ADC. He's just gonna hit minions and get gold. You know, it's like, you know, because I am with you. I totally agree with you. And this includes me, by the way. It's like, because yeah, building a comper on Salty, I'm trying to think as an ADC, what would that look like for me? You know, obviously Jin would help a lot. I think Jin and Varus probably work really well there, because I can root people with both of them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like that's about all I can do to help Salty, really. I guess the ult actually for Jin is really very potent for him, actually. When we combine it well, because yeah, there was a play we did where he came bot lane and Jet wasn't there. I think Jet was roaming, and he ganked under tower. We had no minions under tower. I was Jin. I just ulted and like he killed both of them easily, you know, and got out with over half HP. Like it was fucking disgusting. Like you know, so I don't know. I think that's part of it too. Is like we need to make plays with each other because I think we do tend to have a solo queue mentality sometimes when we're playing. And that is going to hold us back, you know, when we get into higher ranks, for sure. So, and I know Andy doesn't want to play. He wants to play what's fun, but it's like, I mean, that's what Norms is for, bro. You know?
Yeah, like, that's kind of what I was trying to rein home. Like, I can't pick like the champions I want to play. Like, I can't pick Vex. I can't pick like maybe I can pick Ari into some comps, but like majority of my comps are probably going to be like more control mages and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to pick like even I had to pick like Oriana because I know how to play Oriana really well. Or like I
can't pick Jin into every fucking team. You know, it's like you're totally right about that. Like I like it's because there was a game where I first picked everybody, and it's like, bro, I'm not picking Jin first pick. Like the team worked out where I could have picked Jin, but
Yeah.
it was like you don't know that, right? They would have changed. They might have changed their picks if I had picked him. So
Yeah.
it's
And then just imagine that one game we lost. We had that comp against that one team we lost against. Like they were a split
the one
pushing
with the
team.
cane. The cane.
Yeah, the Kane. No, we actually won that game. I think,
Oh
right?
no, no, no,
Did
yeah,
we
yeah,
win
you're
that?
right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
The one
Yeah,
with the Elise. The one.
yes, yes. Where me and Jet fed for half the game. That shit tilted me. I'm not gonna lie. Like it
Yeah,
definitely
but
did.
that team was that was a solo queue team in my opinion. Like we just didn't know how to counter it. But if
Yeah,
you go back and
yeah.
watch the replay, it's a counterable comp that they had.
Well, and to
Um,
be fair to me, I actually recovered. Like
yeah,
in the game, like I was a monster later in the game, but I didn't realize it. Actually, like I wasn't paying enough attention where I didn't realize the gold situation that was going on. Dude, Andy was the weakest person in the game. You know, it didn't feel that way because he was wrecking people, dude, with
yeah,
like 2 items. You know, I was like, and everybody had like 4. But so I was like, it just didn't feel like that to me. But when I looked, dude, like the gold situation on our team was awful. Like it was
yeah.
me. I was like second highest in the game, and then Salty was behind me at like 14K, I think, and then
Mhm.
you and Jet were around 11 or 12, and Andy was under 10. You know, at the end of the game, you know, it was like so. I was just, I think I was so tilted by the early game. I was like, I didn't realize, like, I think I was playing it more fatalist than I should have. I should have been safer. Because if I had, we might have actually been able to win. Probably, I was putting myself in bad spots. I think so.
Yeah, I think we all had to learn how to play from behind certain comps. Like that was a comp where we had to play from behind because I think Kennen actually is a really good comp to
Mm-hmm.
build around because he has that stun that he can do
Yeah,
where he can like stun
yeah.
5 people in one time if he wants
That shit
to.
is
And
disgusting.
Andy's yeah, and Andy's like really good with Kennen, so I don't mind him
Yeah,
picking Kennen. Only person I don't like him picking is like is
Malzahar.
Malzahar. Yeah, I don't think Malzahar is a
Yeah,
good. I think he's a
yeah,
solo eccentric champion. And I
yeah.
know I was like kind of harping on like Jet about Brand, but I was just really trying to gun ho because sometimes Jet can get in like a solo queue mentality. So that's why I was like Jet, no, we got to do this for the team, not just you. Like I understand you're good with Brand, but you know then we have
Which
to
is why
build
I
a
never
comp
play
around you.
as. I never play as in ranked, right?
Yeah,
Because I know it's not going to work. I am not good
you,
enough with it,
you know
and
what's
he is.
funny? I
Yeah.
see people pick Ez in LCK or LCS all the time.
No,
So I
he's a
think he
phenomenal
is.
champion. You just have to be able to hit your skill shots consistently, often. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you can't miss as much as I do. Like I'm not saying I don't know. I'm probably hitting 50% of my shots over the course of a game, but that's not enough in ranked. Like you need to be consistent, you know, consistently
Yeah.
putting damage on people. Otherwise, the champion doesn't do anything else. So if you aren't doing that, then you're kind of useless, right? Like it would have been much better for me to play Jin or Varus in that situation. I'm just too inconsistent with him. I have good as games, but I just don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like I don't have any utility. It's hard to play him because of that sometimes, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, that definitely makes a lot of sense. But I no, Trish is one of those champions where she can almost fit into any comp. I think
Yeah.
Varus is one of those champions who can fit into any comp. Uh, Jin is like a very situational one, but he is really good with this self-peeling CC that he has. And then Nyla, obviously, I just
Yeah.
think if we build a comp around her, if she gets like a really good front line, she's fucking
Yeah.
indestructible. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's hard to kill on her own too, with
yeah.
all her sustain and the dodge and everything and the dashes and stuff. So I mean, I could play any of them. I just think Jin's my best champ right now. I feel like
Mhm.
actually, it was something I was thinking about last night. Is how bad my Varus has become. It's like I'm like, damn, dude, I need to play
I
him
don't
more
think your
because
virus is bad. I think you were just frustrated yesterday. I think
I
that's what it was,
was,
man.
I was, and there. I mean, the thing is, Varus is tough. I mean, he's tough in general. Like, you need to be super good with positioning. Jin can get out of situations that most other ADCs would die in, just based on his self peel, like you were saying. Varus cannot do that, you know. Like, so if you are in a bad position, you're just going to get punished for it, pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
So it's I need to be more deliberate. I think the other thing though, I need to start trying, and this is where I need to play. I probably need to play some norms with Varus actually to test some things because I need to try out the other builds. I don't think the on hit build is that strong right now. Like it doesn't feel that good. And
Okay.
so I want to try pure crit. I want to try even lethality maybe, and then possibly AP as well.
Okay.
So depending on the comp, I can kind of change what I'm doing, you know, because on hit is kind of the most generalist build for him, but it's like a jack of all trades. It doesn't have the peaks that the other builds might have, you know. So that's kind of the
Okay.
issue with it, is it can taper off later in the game, you know. Your power spike is pretty much like 2 or 3 items, you know.
Okay. That
After
makes
that,
sense.
it's a lot more about survivability, you know, at that point, which is valuable certainly, but it doesn't significantly change your fighting capability necessarily. Um, so I don't know. I need to try some stuff out with Varus. He just feels a little weird right now. I feel like he's in a weird spot in the current meta. But Trista's feeling good though, dude. Like, oh my god, she's so strong right now. It's like disgusting. With Yuntal, dude. The second I get Yuntal, and once I get that item, dude, it's just like you're blowing people up so fast, dude. It's actually insane how quickly she can 100 to 0 people. Like, because yeah, it was happening with the game we had, the Jin and Silas bottom game, where they kept going in on Jet, and then I would bomb Jin and I would murder them both. By the time, like, they were killing Jet, but it was like close. Like I would kill them both almost before he would die, you know. And this was before even getting the Yuntal, so she's really strong at the moment. She feels really good, for sure. And like you said, she fits into most comps
Yeah.
pretty well. I think the issue with her I have is it almost requires Jet to play a poke champ like Brand
It
or
does.
something,
Yeah,
because
it
she
does.
has no poke ability. Like her poke ability is almost zero, you know. So it's tough. She's an all-in champ. Like it's all or nothing with her for the most
Yeah.
part. So which is different from what I normally play. You know, I'm not usually playing like that. Um so yeah. But I don't know. I feel good about the team we have. Um, I just agree with you. I think once we hit gold, like we're gonna really feel it. You know, if we build a goofy comp, we're gonna get countered. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I just think the other question I have for you though: are there any other champs you think would be worth experimenting with in bot to help build around Salty Z?
Around Salty, I was gonna say, because Salty can be a hyper carry, but you can also be the secondary hyper carry, and I think like a Jinx is another good champion you should probably put in your pool. I know you
Yeah.
don't really like her because like her solo queue mentality, but I think she's really good into most comps. She can
Well,
also do self peel with her
yeah.
traps.
No, it's true.
Um,
She just fights in straight lines, in my
yeah,
opinion. And I think good players can play around it very easily. Like, I think
yeah.
that's the issue I have with Jinx. Um, so, but I guess a question though, would something goofy like a Yasuo down there be worth experimenting with in like a very niche situation, or not really? You think
Yeah, I think it would be a fun. I think it would be a fun comp, to be honest with
yeah,
you. Like a
yeah,
really
to like
fun
fuck
comp
around with?
to fuck
Yeah, because
around with.
if you guys do the Malphite Galio thing, I mean that's viable suddenly. You know, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Yeah,
Um, so
and
I
then
don't know.
if we have Jet just play a mage, like if he wants to play Brand in that comp, or if he wants to play Oriana in that comp, or even like a Sona or something like that, I think that would
Yeah,
be crazy. That would be
ideal.
really crazy. And I know we'll all hate it, but if you pick Yumi in that situation, we'll also be like really Master Yi would be fucking crazy good by late game because
Oh
he could just attach
no,
he could just
bro!
attach to Master Yi.
Don't
You know?
express this, okay? Don't express this out
Yeah,
loud.
I'm not. That's why I'm
Look,
just saying it right
I
now.
have been 100% serious about this. If Jet picked Yumi, I'm dodging. Like I'm not playing the match. Like that is not a joke. I am not kidding. Anytime he's ever joked about it and like threatened to do it, my cursor's hovering over the X, you know, in my client. So, you know. But if you think it might work as part of our flex strategy, I'll put that
Nah,
aside.
I I don't
I'll put
know.
it
It's
aside.
just I feel icky. It's one of those champions I'm just like I can't even if it is like a really good comp, I can't really bring myself to like jump on board with it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
She does feel pretty strong at the moment though, actually. Her sustain is nuts. So, well, what do you think our ceiling is though? Do you think we can get to plat?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think we can. I think if we all focus in, we can for sure.
Okay.
I mean, we were beating diamonds and shit yesterday, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think like the way we locked in around that cane that was like terrorizing the map, and we came out and beat the
True.
game.
Bro, that fight top that won us the game when he was trying to kill me. I think it was me and you, I think, up there fighting
Maybe.
him.
Yeah.
It was just the two of us, and he ulted me, and I was just charging my arrow, bro, because he had 3 blight stacks on him, you know? So I was just waiting
Yeah.
to see where he came out, and I hit him, and we fucking killed him. And dude, that felt so good. Because that motherfucker was terrorizing me the whole game, you know? No, he was, dude. Every fight, he was flanking and just coming and killing me. Like, it was fucking irritating as shit. So when I could finally take him on, you know, it felt really good. So, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the flex. I'm enjoying the solo queue with Jet too. Actually, the duo queue. We're climbing. I mean, we haven't played in a while, but I'm close to gold, so I want to get there. I've never been gold since I came back, and I feel like now's the time. I will say, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm climbing again too as well. I dropped all the way down to silver 4, but now I'm back in silver 3, and I'm just slowly climbing. And I'm actually like I said, looking at my plays and stuff like that. Just because I took a little break from studying and everything, and I'm just like super extremely stressed by my job. But so I've been doing that, and after I noticed some things with even my gameplay, like I'm just a god. But like I noticed some stuff with
You'll
my
always notice
gameplay.
something. Yeah.
So that's I mean, I'm just slowly climbing back, and hopefully I'll get back into gold this season. I mean, I hit it this season, and I dropped all the way down. So, I'm gonna do it again, and then hopefully go beyond that as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, the other game we've both been playing is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I beat the game last night. You are still. You just started Act 2. You said, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
That's still where you are.
Yeah, I'm like exploring the water part. I got the water
Gotcha.
mobility.
Yeah, the ability to traverse water. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you go ahead, go first, and tell me what you think of the game. Where's your head at with it?
I think the game is very punishing. As far as early game, it's super punishing. If you don't grasp its mechanics like right then and there, I can definitely see people. Well, I say that, and a lot of people that normally wouldn't play this game are playing this game. I say that because my brother, he's playing this game. He played this game like a week or two before I started playing it, and he loves it. He's like, man, I love this Clair Obscur game. I can't believe you're not playing it. And then that's when I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised people are sticking with it because the first like 3 hours, 4 hours of the game was very punishing in my opinion, as far as like getting everything. Well, I say 3 to 4 hours. I'm talking about like actual gameplay, not the story section of the game. That's like maybe like an hour or two long or whatever. But then where you actually get to the other side of the island, the continent rather.
The prologue you're talking about.
Yeah, the prologue. Yeah. Once you actually get past the prologue and stuff like that, then yeah, that combat is like it's really something to learn. Even if you're like really good at like other games that have parry and everything like that, the enemies do move a little crazy. But I've learned what they.
Dude, that's it's the shit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've learned what they. I learned just to dodge, and then once I get comfortable parrying, then I parry because dodging is way more forgiving than parrying. So, I can only imagine playing this on expert mode though. Like when you're out the gate. I
did almost all of Act 1 on expert, and
I can definitely.
It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I can definitely see you just lowering the difficulty.
Well, dude, it was one shots. Like I was telling you, like you miss a parry and you literally just die. Like the character just dies. It was a level of brutality, and I mean the Act 1 enemies are easy enough where I think it's doable on expert. That's why I got through most of it on expert.
Yeah.
But dude, later in the game it becomes insane. Like you'll see the combo, like enemies have like 8-hit combos and shit, bro. It's fucking
I haven't encountered
insanity.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't encountered that.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I like the obviously this is the first game. I don't know if this is the first game to do the parry thing in turn-based games. But obviously, like this is the first game to bring action elements into a turn-based game or whatever. Um, but I do like how it does, turn that system on its head and everything like that. So I can definitely see if you're not familiar with playing turn-based games, uh, how this game can feel like a beacon of hope in a dying genre. Which
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let me get that out the way right now. Just play more video games, y'all. Like, I am so tired of when this conversation of this game comes up. First of all, I love this game. I just hate the conversation surrounding it because every time, bro, there's some like even yesterday, right? One of our friends came into the chat and was like, "Oh man, that game's saving the turn-based genre," and I'm like, "Dude, like we just had like Metaphor come out like 5 months
Yeah,
ago,
it was like 6 months ago. Yeah,
6 months
or
ago.
7 months ago.
What are
Yeah.
we what are we
Well, yeah,
talking about
what are
right
we
now,
talking
bro?
about? 100%, no, 100%, bro. No, 100%. Look, the analysis around video games has become comical. Like, look, this game, I love this game, okay, but like the whole comparing it to other games thing, we've talked about this before, and I did it a couple weeks ago. Like, I do think the parrying is reminiscent of Sekiro. It's definitely got some
Well,
elements of that.
you're doing it when you do your comparison, right? You're doing it in a
Yeah.
way of like I don't know how to say it. Like you're just putting it in relevance of something, right? Like
Yeah, I'm being
maybe it's a little bit
specific.
like
I'm not saying
yeah,
Clair
you're
Obscur
not
is like Sekiro, like
yeah,
yeah.
you're not saying like, oh, this is the savior, this is the second coming of Jesus in turn-based games. Like you're not
Absolutely.
saying that. Like I
I
don't.
know. No, we gotta no, and this is a discussion we've had on the show before. We gotta stop doing this with video games. Okay, it's like not every game is the fucking savior of the fucking industry. It's like this game is great. Don't get me wrong, but everybody's
It's
talking about it like
great.
it's the greatest game. I've literally heard people say that this is their favorite game of all time, and they're like 35, and I'm like, I can't believe that you feel that way. You've been around since the Nintendo and you feel that way. I just like I find that really hard to believe. It's just like a hype bunny thing, like this game is the hype bunny right now, and everybody's fucking in love with it. And then in a year from now, we're going to hear the cooling opinions on it come down where people are going to criticize the narrative the way I probably will when we do the spoiler cast. And we're going to hear these opinions and I'm going to roll my fucking eyes because I'm going to say it now and no, I feel that way now. And then all of a sudden I'm going to see all these opinions in 12 months, that like it's just it happened with Breath of the Wild. It fucking
Yeah.
it happens with all these huge games, bro. And it's like it's just frustrating that we can't do it in the moment. We're so like enraptured by a game that's unique and interesting and is super well executed and is very impressive for the team size that we're talking about, and that it's their first game that they've ever made, and it's not helmed by like a giant publisher or anything like that. And but like we gotta stop doing this, bro. I'm like going through the soundtrack right now because I finished the game. I'm starting to like add the soundtrack to my YouTube playlist, the songs that I like, and I go
Yeah.
into the comments, bro, and it's just like there's so many songs. And Montrell, tell me if this sends you as much as it sends me, where people are like, "Oh, this is very near esque," and I'm like, bro, just
Oh
because a
my
choir is
god,
going,
dude.
it's not near, bro. It's like completely different music from Near Automata, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, we don't have to compare everything to something else. It can be its own thing. This game's soundtrack is very unique. It's super French, and that fucking rules.
I didn't even get near from this.
I don't
I just
either. What
I
are
just
people
got like you
talking
said,
about?
I just got French from it. I'm like, this is a very French
Yeah.
game. And they
It's very
really want you to
classical. It's super
yeah.
classical as well, and it's very impressive, and I love it. It's one of my favorite soundtracks I've heard in a long time, from a game.
Yeah, and
But yeah,
I mean,
it's
I'm
just
impressed by the game, for sure. I think, so the like the game itself, without like doing any spoilers or anything like that. I mean, they take
Mhm.
some very ballsy moves, and
Yes.
you already know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that was like, I was like, that's actually what I want. I think we said something like that before. Like, if a game should do that, and this game did that. I thought it was very
The
ballsy.
moment pissed me off though. It's one of the it's a moment we're gonna talk about very deeply when we do the spoiler cast because I know what moment you're talking about.
Yeah.
And in the place of the greater narrative, like even not just like when I was experiencing it, I was very conflicted if I liked it or not. So I don't know.
So
It's very interesting.
I will say, yeah, we'll save it for the spoiler cast, but I will say this. So two things happened to me with this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is why I learned my lesson with this game. I would never talk about what I'm currently playing or make a meme of what I'm currently playing, ever again. So I made a meme on Twitter where I was like, it was Kobe and Shaq like during their prime, right? So I
Yeah.
put a gif of Kobe and Shaq in their prime, and I
Yeah.
said, is it Skiel? Is it Ciel
Seal.
or Skiel?
Seal.
Ciel.
Yeah. Seal.
So Seal and Gustave or
Gustav.
Gustav. So I said Gustav and Seal when you do your mark,
Oh yeah.
your
Yeah.
mark shot and your fortune teller
Yeah.
phantom blade combo, and like, you instantly almost one shot people when you do that combo,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So I put that up, and then someone said something in the comments. I'm not even going to say what it is, but somebody said irrelevant to the moment we just had, and
Mm.
I was like, dude, did you just spoil this for me? And he
Yeah.
was like, nah. He said that, right? Literally 30 minutes later, that moment happened, and I was just like, dude, he spoiled this for me. Like, he completely spoiled this for me, but it
Yeah.
still happened, and I still liked it. The moment,
That sucks.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I didn't like how telegraphed the moment was. That's my biggest criticism of that moment, in
Yeah.
my opinion. It
Yeah.
was very telegraphed. But so um, yeah, so but without that anyway, I think the game is a love letter to JRPGs. I don't think this game is trying to shit on JRPGs. I don't think this game is trying to say JRPGs have left the building, left the chat. I think this is just saying like, hey, we played the same games you guys played, and this is our love letter. This is our French version of what we would like to bring
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the table. I think the combat is very cool. I think the turn base is surprisingly very fast once you learn your combos and your comps
Mm-hmm.
and everything. I do
Mm-hmm.
think the Picto and Lumines or Luminaire
Lumina. Lumina.
Lumina system, I do think it's a little bit, I can see it getting very overwhelming very quickly. But
Yeah.
uh I say that, but I do find myself switching comps and everything of that nature. And everything. I have like a burn comp going on right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I will say that I think burn right now, early game, early to mid game. I'm curious to see how it's going to be in late game. I think burn is like very broken in this game. Um,
Yes, I used it the entire game.
okay, so yeah, it's broken. Burn is very broken in this game. But
It's not the most powerful thing though, dude. There are some late game abilities and combinations that I've seen online people do where they just one shot bosses, and I'm like, that just seems so not fun. Like, so I chose not to follow those paths, but
yeah, I'm
um,
purposely dodging like looking up comps online and stuff like
yeah,
that. I'm just
don't.
trying to discover my own.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. No, I think you would I think people will ruin the game for themselves if they go look for like a character build guide or something.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the appeal of this game is discovering for yourself what abilities work for you and which ones don't, and which ones are
Yeah.
powerful and which ones aren't. That
Yep.
is part of the fun of the game. And if you go online and just look up a build, people are going to give you the one that one shots bosses, and the game is going to be completely trivialized and not fun.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
that is my that is totally true, bro. Just like DJ, if you're listening, just play the game like with no condom, man. Just raw. Don't even look at you know,
yeah,
don't even look at any comps. Don't look at anything, bro. Just play the game and experience
raw
the
dog
game.
it. Yeah, raw dog it.
Yeah, just raw dog it. I do think, but I will say though, I know people are talking shit about it or like praising this game and Jesus, but this game actually does deserve the praise. It's a really,
Absolutely,
really
100%.
well made game. Um, I just wish the praise wasn't so dick ridey, but I can understand getting caught up in the hype of the game, and everything of that nature. My
Yeah,
my another criticism I have is like some of the some of the models. I don't know. Now I'm not trying to be racist because like you know how we say all Chinese people look alike or whatever, right? That's the racist term that people say or
yeah,
whatever, or all
yeah,
Asian people, right? Look alike.
yeah, yeah,
I do
yeah,
think a lot of the models, particularly like the white male models, kind of look the same. Like it was one point I was just like, is that good stuff? Or is
yeah,
that another person? You know, like am I
yeah, yeah,
crazy?
yeah.
And then
Well,
some of
you
the
gotta
female
think.
models look
Yeah.
crazy as well. Like I don't know, the
Well,
eyes look really crazy.
yeah, that's hold on, I'll come back to that. But on the point of the models looking alike, I think there's a legitimate possibility here that that was a number one budgeting constraint, and number two,
Mm,
they just accepted it because think about it, like how many times in the game are you running into huge groups of humans? It's really at the beginning of the game, and that's for the most part it, you know.
yeah,
So it's not necessary to have a lot of different model types, so they can kind of get away
yeah,
with it, I think. So that might have been
yeah.
just a choice they made, you know, to save themselves some
Okay.
time potentially. But and yeah, the eyes, yeah. So glad you mentioned it because I like kind of forgot. But yeah, dude, the eyes in this game on every character go crazy. I don't. I don't know what they're doing here with the tech, but it's bro, it's everybody just looking like they got the wild eyes, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
at all times, you know. So, but no, I mean, I love it. I think the game is great. After beating it, I have to say most of my thoughts for the spoiler cast because most of my issues, I don't know, I don't even want to call them issues, things that I'm conflicted about center around the narrative specifically.
mm,
Everything
okay,
else in the game, from the aesthetic, level design, cinematography of cutscenes and environments, the combat, the even the character progression, the music, all of that stuff is fucking excellent, like top notch. You know,
yeah, yep,
there's like I feel like there's very little to actually criticize on the game.
yeah,
It's a phenomenal video game, and I'm gonna remember it for a long time, regardless of how I feel about the narrative. Like I'm like in my head. It's I mean it's really close to a 10 out of 10. You know, it's
yeah.
I don't know if it's quite there for me, but I could see people giving it a 10. It is
Yeah,
actually
for
that
sure.
good.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Even where I'm at right now, I can definitely see people giving it a 10 out of 10. And like I said, like the um people are dick riding this game for a reason, y'all. I mean, it's a good game. Like it's a really good game.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
phenomenal game.
No, it's the thing that's frustrating me about it is the attacking people who are criticizing the game. Anybody who has anything critical to say is like the enemy, you know. And it's like there are things about the game you can criticize. It's not
Oh
perfect,
yeah,
you know.
100%. Yeah.
So that just frustrates me a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that's without getting into spoilers or anything, that's pretty much all I have to say about the game.
Okay.
Um
Well, we'll do a full spoiler cast on it. Um,
I should be
how?
done by the time
Yeah.
you get back from vacation.
You
I'm
think
not
like you did
100%.
2 weeks? 2 weeks
Yeah,
maybe.
about 2 weeks. I should be done with it.
That
Yeah.
sounds about right. That's about how long it took me. I think Act Two is pretty long, so
Okay.
I think that will take you the greater part of that 2 weeks. Um, so, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, just keep playing it. I'm sure it'll suck you into the point where you just like kind of rush to the finish at some point too, potentially.
Well, I
But
mean, the only reason I haven't been playing is because everybody was like, jump on
get
league.
on
But
league, motherfucker, flax.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I haven't like addicted to it so far. So
yeah. Um, how do you like the party in the game?
the party I have so far,
Yeah, I
I
just
think
mean like
they're.
character wise, like you know, like who they are and like how they fit into the
I
group and
actually,
all that.
I actually don't have a. I think my favorite character is either Cielo or Mael.
Yeah.
Um, I like both of those characters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Loon, I think Loon was meant to be like the character favorite, and it's just obvious. She gets a lot of outfits like super early.
Yeah.
I think she's really cool, but as far as like the way I like to play, and everything of that nature, I do like mage like characters and everything, but uh, I don't know. I like the way I really like the way CL plays a lot. I like the way Gustav plays as well. Um, I like the way Verso plays, and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
The characters themselves, as far as their personalities, I really think in like character dynamics and development, I really think actually all of them are really good.
Yeah.
I like how
Yeah.
Loon is very like, we have to focus on the mission, and then I like how even when every character, like a lot of the reactions to the events that are going on, I haven't really been like, "Ugh, whatever, dude." Like I've been like, no, that's like an actual realistic reaction to like what the fuck is going on and what
Yeah.
happened to them.
Authentic. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's a good party. I'm not actually annoyed with anybody so far, which is
Yeah.
very rare for me right now. So yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll table the discussion for now. I'm really looking forward to doing a spoiler cast. This game, I'm still thinking about this game. I've been thinking about it all day. Actually, after finishing it, it's like the ending is very it makes you think. I guess is what I'll say. So I'll be very curious to see how you feel about it as well. But glad you're enjoying it though. I just it's a great game. It is a great game, and it's we don't get these super often, you know. So
Yeah.
I think it is worth enjoying for sure. It is funny for me though, coming off Kingdom Come Deliverance, because that game is great in its own way too, you know. So I'm kind of eating good right now, man. And then I got Kingdom Come Deliverance too. I could start if I wanted to, and from everything I've heard, that game is fucking incredible. So yeah, it seems like a good year. We were kind of in a great year so far for new releases, and we got a lot coming up. So, all right, cool. Well, all right, let's jump ahead. We're gonna do something a little different this week and actually talk about guess the meta score before the news. Montrell's feeling very passionate about the game we're going to talk about. So, Elden Ring Nightrein, we had did guesses on a few weeks ago, and the reviews are in. It is currently sitting at a 77 on Metacritic. So Montreal is winning this one. He guessed an 8, and I guess an 8.3. So he's taking the crown on this one. But I mean, Montreal, what did you want to say about the game, though? You had some thoughts about kind of some of the reviews that are going on right now.
So yeah, I mean, I'm very going to be very interested for the user reviews as well, because the game is scoring low because first of all, it's like it's a short experience. The game's only $40 right now. You can buy it for $40 or whatever. Um, and it's a multiplayer game. Uh, but the thing is, like, you have to play the game the way the game wants to be, the way the game has to be played, if that makes any sense. So I'll read you like one of the critics' reviews here. I'm just gonna read like one thing. Making Elden Ring, or it's from software design, as a 3-person co-op experience haven't bothered haven't bothered with crossplay, or it doesn't have crossplay, which is a crazy thing. And I think it doesn't have a 2-player mode. And it said adding more barriers to an already intimidating game, making something for Elden Ring's existing community rather making something for Elden Ring's existing community rather than trying to improve brand awareness should be celebrated. But it is a hard game to love. So I think, from what I've read from some of these reviews and stuff like that, is that they don't like how straightforward it is. They don't like the roguelike of it. They don't like that a lot of people say that the game is like a half game and everything of that nature. I really think the game revolves around, in my opinion, uh you not being able to build your own character.
Yeah.
You have to play your own character. You have to
Which
play
we
the
called
character
that
they
out
give
as
you.
a risk, right? Like
Yeah.
when it was first talked about.
Yeah. And a lot of people are just saying like the game is short, which I already knew the game was going to be short. Some people are saying like 2 hours each run would take you about 45 minutes to do. Um, it's a very Fortnite essence type game where not Fortnite essence, but like a battle royale type game. Not the sense that you're dropping in with other players, but the world constantly gets smaller, adding a level of difficulty to the game and everything of that nature. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of the reviewers didn't realize that I think your main way of building is going to be your comps around the teams you build or you pick rather than your actual character. And unfortunately, I think that's what it is with this game. Uh, it's another Sekiro esque game, in my opinion. When I mean Sekiro esque, I don't mean parrying and everything of that nature. I mean that From Software is literally forcing you to play the game they made that you present. You can't cheese your
Yeah.
way out of it. You can't do anything else. And a lot of people who play and Dark Souls games don't like to play the game that way. Um, which is what Dark Souls and Demon Souls is, by the way. Like that's why they give you that customization so that you can build characters that you can not eventually steamroll with, but like build it in your own way and play the game in your own manner. I saw someone talk about this game as well, like online and everything, and they mentioned every game as far as like the score and everything. Um, except Sekiro. They didn't have Sekiro in that lineup at all. They even had Bloodborne because I thought, like, okay, maybe they're just doing like the Souls games, but they did Bloodborne as well, and they didn't put Sekiro in there. And I'm like, it's interesting that Sekiro is not in this conversation, because I think uh, a lot of people who play Soulsborne games skip Sekiro entirely, which is insane to me. So this is
Well,
I'm not trying to like.
dude, they're fake hard boys. Okay, like we've had this conversation. These guys can't beat Sekiro. They're
Yeah, I
cheaters.
mean, yeah, it's actually funny, right? So this is the last paragraph of one of these 60
Yeah.
not the last paragraph, but it's in the middle of the paragraph. So it says like one of the classes called the executioner is also interesting as they don't play like an Elden Ring character at all, but instead a parrying technique very similar to Sekiro Shadow Dies Twice. Each class
Hmm.
has their own story objective class called remembrances. They that can that can earn you more powerful relics and blah 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 blah. So I think like you have to play the characters the way they are meant to be played. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
and when I mean, you play like Dark Souls and everything like that. When you pick a character, like they give you like these generic, like the monk guy, and then they have like
Yeah.
but you can turn the monk guy into a warrior guy if you want to, or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
it's
you
just
want to
your
do with
like
that.
it's like your starting point. You know, it's
Yeah,
not you're not locked into it necessarily. And the thing I fucked up when I played Dark Souls 3, and what I did was I did the one that was the shitty one that wasn't any of them, you know. I forget what it
yeah,
was called. The it was the one that didn't have like any. It had extra skill points you could allocate or whatever, but it didn't have like a specialty. Like you didn't come. It didn't come with a weapon. I think it started with like a shitty like dagger or something, and that was it. And I played the
yeah.
game with that one at first, so I didn't really understand. I was apparently making the game harder for myself, is what I found out the early game at least, because you
Yeah.
start you're that like that character is significantly shittier than the others that you can choose.
Yeah, so like, and then I mean, the guy gives like a short cons and pros and cons thing. So he said like
Mm-hmm.
TLDR. Like in short, From Software struggles to force the square peg of Elden Ring into the round hole of a co-op roguelite. While they just while they just about managed to make it work for the whole game, it feels like only a half experiment. The core gameplay and combat of Elden Ring, or this is the pros rather. The core gameplay and combat of Elden Ring is as entertaining as ever, and the boss battles are excellent, even from a From game. I hate the way they did that. As usual, the art design is superb and the class types work very well. The cons, turning Elden Ring into a fast-paced roguelike just doesn't seem like a good idea, especially given how difficult it is to put an effective team together.
Mm.
Quickly becomes repetitive and the wall jumping is embarrassingly bad. So I don't know about the wall jumping and everything, but just that con right there, especially given how difficult it is to put together an effective team, I think that right there is the reason why it's going to be scored low among a lot of people, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
it's very fast paced. It's an action game essentially. It's not an RPG anymore. Um,
Yeah.
so because I want to say even in Hades, which I need to play, you can kind of build your character,
Yeah.
right? So like,
Yeah,
l-
every run of Hades is different, where like you'll be presented with abilities that you can choose, and then
mhm,
those abilities will fit some sort of archetype that you can build further into the deeper in your run you go. So
gotcha.
they'll like kind of enhance, like for instance, like you'll get three choices of abilities. One will be like a lightning strike ability, one will be like an ice blast ability, and the other will be like a fire ability, and those are all like your other abilities will synergize with those later on that you'll find or something like that. So that's kind of how the game can go, but you can always build out of that though. You're not locked in or anything like that. Hades
Okay.
is very diverse in the ways you can play it. So yeah.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. I mean, that's my opinion on it, and that's why I was just like, I kind of expected this, y'all. Like, I don't understand why y'all didn't expect it yourselves. Um, I knew this was gonna get scored crazy low. But the game is only $40, so I don't know what a lot of people were expecting. I don't know if they was expecting a full fledged, you know, uh Souls Elden Ring experience. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't expecting, in which the game put out there that it wasn't, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, are you planning on getting it or playing it, or you're not really interested?
I'm still on the fence about it, to be honest with you. It sounds like that's something I want to play though. It sounds like something I want to play. I just don't know if I really I think I'm just Souls Elden Ring the fuck out right now. I'm just like, I'm really
Yeah.
nothing wrong with the franchise or anything. I'm just done with the franchise because I've been playing it for like the last 15, 20 years. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. Are you? Did you ever finish? Um, fucking. Oh my God, Armor Core.
no, I didn't finish it. I gotta go back and finish that
I
game.
didn't either. Okay. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, From's weird for me, dude. Like Sekiro hit in such a specific way, and I love that game so much. And like none of their other games ever work for me. I don't know what it is. Um, I just don't. I just don't quite get it. I guess I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing, but I don't
Yeah,
know. Armor
yeah,
Core is different from the Souls games, though. At the same
it
time,
is
so
one of those games you just gotta like put your head down and finish, if that makes any sense. It can
yeah,
get very repetitive, or not repetitive, but like, I don't want to say boring, but like kind of stale at one point. Like the mid game can be stale, but then the end game can be like really good. So usually that's the plateau. That's like the falling off point for me with
yeah.
like Souls
That's where I'm
games.
at. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with. That's where I was at. I was in the mid game, but yeah, you remember that mission I lost though, where you it was it was the one where you fought the dude with the shield or whatever, I think. And
Yeah,
it was just another, and it was a normal mech. It wasn't like a boss or anything, you know.
yeah. You fought him
Um,
in like this tight area with like two other mech.
yeah, yeah, you can't
Yeah,
dodge the attacks very well. Yeah, it was
yeah.
like, yeah, and that's what killed. That's what got me off the game. Was that
Really, I beat
specific
that
mission?
mission. Yeah, I beat that
Yeah.
mission. Did you beat it? You beat it, right?
No, I didn't. No, no,
Oh
no.
shit.
I never finished the game. Like um, yeah. Unfortunately, that mission was it for me, and I never went back. So, I still do at some point though. I mean, I don't know. I still got to play like Elden Ring. I never played Bloodborne. It's like all these games everybody says are so great. I just never got around to them really. So
I
yeah,
will say, I just think From Software games are blown out of proportion as far as like, oh my god, these are the greatest games ever. And I'm like, okay, guys, chill
I think
out.
that's my
Right?
issue. Is like everybody says that, right? That they're the greatest games ever, and then I play them, and it's like, it's a video game. You know, it's like
Yeah,
I don't feel anything specifically like I don't feel they're special in the way that like Clair Obscur is special, you know? Like I don't
yeah,
feel that
yeah.
personally. So it's like when I'm playing them, I'm just like, I mean, I'm hitting monsters and dodging attacks and dying and leveling up and
I
finding
think it's
equipment. It's just like it's okay, it's fun, yeah, but it's like I don't know, it's not revelatory, for me. So
yeah, I think it's one of those games where, because it's funny, right? Because even people that play a lot of video games like us, right? They say like, oh, it's one of the greatest games they ever played or whatever. Um, But I think for a lot of other people, like even when I talk to those people that are like on the same level as like being into video games as us, um, they're like, yeah, I like the game, but like, I want to play other games, so I just beat the game or whatever. But then there are people who are just like obsessed with it because like they don't play a lot of games outside of the game. Like, for instance, right? Um, I think there are a lot of people like Salty. I love Salty to death, don't get me wrong. But all he plays is League, right? And I think there are a lot of people
Yeah.
that are like Salty where they only play 1 or 2 games a year.
Yeah.
And then once they jump outside their comfort zone, they're like, "Oh my
Well,
god,
yeah.
there are more games than League?"
You remember his phase with PoE 2?
Yeah.
He was like obsessed with it. I'm like, bro, like, I mean, I'm sure it's great, but holy shit, man! Like, you never played an ARPG before or something? Like,
Exactly. I
Jesus.
I think I think Justin, that is the norm. I think
Yeah,
people play.
it's
I
common.
think yeah,
Yeah.
it's like me with like books or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Uh, like I'm starting to read a lot more books or whatever, but like 10 or 15 years ago when I got into sci-fi or whatever, and I read like Ender's Game for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest sci-fi book ever. And then I read other books. Like now I'm like, Ender Game's all right. Like it's all right game or whatever. But it's like I think a lot of people Elden Ring was like their first exposure to like an actual video game. Like it
Or
wasn't
Dark Souls,
Fortnite, yeah, or Dark Souls. It wasn't Fortnite. It wasn't Call of Duty. It wasn't NBA 2K or some other major like slop or whatever. It was like an actual like it's the actual video game with like love put into it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um I think like it's almost like I think we experience this throughout every franchise actually, or like every discovery, because like you can see it, right? You can see the trends. Like I think Xenoblade 2 is that game for Xenoblade. Xenoblade 2 was the game that a lot of people experienced, and I
That makes
realized that
sense.
when I realized that when I was on Twitter and they were like showing the
Yeah.
different because remember they were coming out with the DLC for Xenoblade 3, and then they
Yeah.
showed Rex as DLC, and then they had Shulk as DLC, and Rex had significantly more likes and retweets than Shulk. And I was just like, okay, I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's like the best MC. I think Noah's a better MC than Rex.
Dude, Rex is like he's not even an average JRPG MC. He's terrible. Like straight up, dude. Like, oh god, that's why it makes me so upset that game is like. I mean, I get it. It's the gateway everybody experienced on fucking Switch. It was the
Yeah,
first Xenoblade they had access to. Like playing Xenoblade 1 was really hard. You needed a Wii or a 3DS, and the 3DS version of the game was fucking, was probably ass because it was, ran like
yeah,
shit.
it was
So,
ass. Yeah,
so yeah, I mean, I get it. It just frustrates me because it's not. So it's like everybody's like looking at all the other games in the franchise, and they're like they loved Rex first, so that's the one they always love, even if
yep,
he's not the best one.
yep,
It's always that old argument between like Uncharted 2 and 3. Like if you had flipped the two games when they came out, 3 would be the one everyone loves and 2 would be the one that people are like on.
yeah,
It's that kind of situation. And I think you're right. Like, yeah, Elden Ring's like that game for a lot of people. It's like a gateway into more mainstream gaming away from like your live service slop, or microtransaction bullshit. And then people are like, "Oh my god, they make games like this?" And it's like, "This game is fucking incredible." And it's like, "Yeah, there's a million games like this though, bro." Like,
Well,
I
you know
mean,
what's interesting?
yeah.
This franchise is actually experiencing the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Hunter. People
Yeah.
are going back and playing Monster Hunter Generations, and they're like, "Dude, this game is awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, like
Yeah,
that's
bro,
we
we're
that's
not
what we experience."
lying. We're not lying. Like, like we are not fucking lying when we're talking about the flaws of the newer games. Like we kind of we know what we're talking about a little bit. Like give us some credit. It's like fuck. But yeah, no, I mean I don't know. It's perspective. Everybody's got a different one. Unfortunately, I think me and you specifically, have to keep sight of that sometimes when we are like
Yeah,
criticizing these things and criticizing these conversations. Is like not everybody has the level of gaming experience we have. Like we have been diverse gamers our entire lives, 35 years. So it's like we have a lot of games under our belt, and we've seen a lot of different genres. We've seen a lot of different types of games, styles, and gameplay systems and all that. So yes, while it's obnoxious that FromSoft games are treated as like the second coming of Jesus, at the same time, it's all these people know, and it's like it is what it is.
Yeah,
I think that's very true. So,
and I'm trying to think. So, like in basketball terms, right? I think I put From Software games as like, and DJ would know what I mean by this if he's listening. Is From Software games are the San Antonio Spurs of basketball of video games, and what I mean by that is, it follows the fundamentals of video games and what makes good video games, like really good level design, really good storytelling, and everything of that nature. Uh, and it follows those fundamentals. It put all those fundamentals really well into a package. It doesn't exceed in one part. It doesn't decrease in one part. It's just a really fundamental thing, which is how the Spurs play their basketball. They're a really fundamental basketball team. They just follow the fundamentals. They don't really get too flashy or anything like that, and they win championships because of that type of thing or whatever. And I'm trying to think of like a football team that follows the fundamentals of like football. Patriots, yeah, the Patriots, yeah. Like when Tom Brady was playing, like he played with the fundamentals of football. Yeah. He used that to his ability to read the game and everything of that nature. So I think that's what it is. If you're just used to like one type of game, like I said before, and then you experience like a game that actually does the fundamentals of what a video game actually is very well, or they just puts it in a really cute package really well, then you will experience that like euphoric, like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on, or whatever the case may be. And I think that's another thing that separates like Elden Ring and the Souls games from other video games, why they hold it to such a high regard, or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of people now, other people are starting to experience like Devil May Cry. Now other people are starting to go out and play like Neo and Team Ninja games, and now like there's a resurgence in this because they played these games, like this particular style of quote unquote action game from like Souls, and now they're like, I want something a little bit different. And now, like, I think that's why we're seeing this resurgence in like action games coming out now, and everything like that. Like that's why, like, we wouldn't have got a Stellar Blade without Nier and a Souls game or whatever, right? And people when they played Stellar Blade, even though they're going out to the game, they're like, man, like this is a really cool like action game. Like, is there other games I can play like this? And people are like, just go play fucking Nier. Like Nier's a good game to play, or go play fucking Neo, or go play Devil May Cry or something like that. These games out here exist already. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it.
Sorry, you talking about this reminded me of something random. In Clair Obscur, when you go into an area and it plays the sound and it shows the area's name on screen.
Yeah.
Isn't that ripped straight out of Dark Souls?
I think it's ripped straight out of a lot of games.
I don't know that. I mean, Dark Souls is the game I think of though when you lock into the area and it's got the big white text of what the area is called. Like the Sacred Forest, and then it goes to like, that like.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, right? They have like a bonfire system where they respawn to enemies.
Absolutely, enemies respawn. Yep. So there are elements for sure that they've taken for sure. Like, I mean, they've said it a lot in interviews though. Like the FromSoft games are like their favorite games. Like these guys, like they're huge fans of everything From does. So, and that's the funny part, right? Is like this is where that idea of like huge fandom like that, like it can annoy us a little bit sometimes with the way people talk about these games. But look what came of it. It's one of the best like turn-based JRPG style games we've had in a long time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because they didn't make an action game. They love those games, but they didn't make an action game. So it's interesting.
But I think this is why we, on this podcast in particular, I wish like developers listen to the podcast as well. But I think even up and coming developers and stuff like that, I think this is why you play other games, right? You play other things to see what you can
Mm,
fit into your system, or little elements here and there and things of that nature.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because yeah, like the parrying thing, I'm pretty sure they got that from like Sekiro. They're like, how can we introduce parry into like a turn-based game? And like, yeah, like instead of just sitting there on on the enemy's turn, let's you have some options instead of just taking damage or whatever the case may
Yeah,
be.
dude. In retrospect, it's so obvious, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
like why has the game never done this before? It's like, I mean, obviously, like I'm not when I say never, I mean in the way that Clair Obscur is doing it. Like, obviously, Super
Yeah.
Mario RPG had your timed blocks, and so did like Child of Light. Like these games exist,
Yeah.
but like in the way where you have these like 8-hit combos that you're parrying. It's like there's really not been a turn-based game like that that's done that before. So it's like, why did it take this long? It's so weird when you think about it, but
Well, I mean, sometimes all it takes is like for the pool to get kind of stale. Not to say turn-based games were stale, but like all it takes is like somebody like think outside the box, like who never really does that. Um, I don't know, like countries do it all the like in other industries do it all the time. Like automotive industry was like an American automotive thing, and then like other countries started putting their own spin on things as far as cars and everything. So like JRPG is a Japanese RPG thing, but like what if a
yeah,
Western company took it and was like, hey, let's do something a little bit different with the JRPG space or whatever.
hmm
So I mean, yeah, I just think it is what it is with that. Like even the Japanese developers made the idea of character action games, and like other Western developers or Korean developers or even Chinese developers are taking that genre and then putting their own spin to it or whatever. That's why I'm actually like interested in seeing what's gonna come of the gotcha space. Is it really just gonna die with
yeah,
the one tap character combo slop, or is someone actually gonna put like
yeah,
an actual combo system into the game? Um, to where it's like a very viable thing. Like they're gonna try. Like it's still gonna be a gotcha game, but like these characters have like their own like command list and everything of that nature when you're fighting or whatever. Like different mechanics, similar to like Clair Obscur, how it's still a turn-based game, but every character has their different mechanic in the game or whatever. And I know gotcha games do that, but it's just like it's all gimmicky. If that makes sense, it's still one button tap type shit. And
yeah. Or like
um
Honkai Star Rail, which could have broken this kind of ground, but decided to make their combat system like really mostly simplistic.
Exactly.
Um,
Because you can see, and that's the thing that gets me about the gotcha games and these developers and that do it. Like they have immense talent. You can
oh yeah,
tell
oh yeah.
they want to like do something different, but they have to do it within the confines of that game or the game that they're making, or
Yeah,
because it has
right.
to
They
make
need to
money.
sell characters. They have to sell
Exactly.
weapons. They need to sell something as part of a gotcha, which constrains your design space significantly.
Exactly.
Because
Um.
to your point, like the thing about the character action games, like them being closer to that, where you have like unique combo lists and every character, like, dude, that's hard to develop though. Like to
Exactly.
have that ready at the cadence they need, like it would be difficult for them to, I think, to meet that speed, frankly. So I think that's the main issue is why you're not seeing that as much in the space. Where like Wuthering Waves is like the best you might get,
Yeah.
because yeah, I just think the design limitations of time are going to make it really difficult for you to make the characters enough characters to make money, ultimately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um it frustrates me because you are correct, like when you're saying like they have some immense talent, like dude, Hoyoverse, bro, if they made a fucking single player game, man, like I think they could blow the industry up, like in terms of like I really believe that, like as much as Genshin Impact is like constrained in its combat in many ways, and it's certainly kind of rote and generic at this point in the gotcha space. The game overall is fucking it's crazy, like how deep it has got it to the point, the amount of content in there, what they've done with the content, like they just it's a crazy game, but it's constrained because it's a gotcha, and it's like it instantly becomes unappealing in a lot of ways because of what that means for the game overall. So And like I said, Honkai's in the same place. It's like the game's combat is cool to a degree. I enjoyed it for what it was for the time I played it, but eventually it becomes very boring where it's you do the same things over and over and over again. And yeah, those flashy animations are great and all, but eventually it just doesn't carry it anymore. And then when they start doing things where they're introducing like power creep in order to sell characters, it kind of ruins the game at that point. You kind of kill what the game is, and you invalidate people's previous purchases when you do shit like that in a gacha, and it just like kind of turns you off eventually. And I think that's kind of the fate of all these games ultimately. I will be curious to see how long they all last, the big ones, because Genshin's been around since 2020, and I feel like it's been way longer than that, but it hasn't. It's only been 5 years coming up in September, but I do wonder how much longer that game has actually, as like a live service game. I'm sure they will run it for a very long time, but I like, what does maintenance mode for Genshin Impact look like? I actually don't know. I don't know what that looks like, because they're still making characters, they're still adding new zones. They're about to go to the 7th region, I think, this summer. I want to say in like August or September is Snezhnaya, the final nation in the game that they teased originally. So like we're getting to the end of the story that they laid out at the beginning, with that game. What does the game look like after that? I think we might have one more year of them wrapping up this story that they started, and then what does the game look like after that? I don't know. It's interesting. So I've gone way off track of your original point, but but the gacha space is very interesting in gaming right now to me for a lot of reasons. But I do wish these developers though would have the opportunity to make something else, like make their own single player game. Like Hoyoverse has like 4 gotchas they've got at this point. It's like, bro, let your team make something single player that you like box up and sell for $70. With no microtransactions in it. Like really flex and show us what you're capable of.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So
I agree. Like I don't know, man. I really want them to flex, like you said, like all these Chinese developers. I really want them to like really flex their wings and show us like a single player game. Because I feel like they have the money now. Like I don't know. Now you're just being greedy.
they've had the money, bro. Yeah, they're definitely being greedy, man. Like, how many billions has Hoyoverse made off their games at this point? I mean, shit,
Yeah,
dude.
I feel like you can spare a project or two. You
Yeah,
can
dude.
spare a
Like,
project.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can spare 300 million to make a single player game. Like, come on,
yeah.
guys. Like, Jesus, how much money is enough? It's like, I don't know. So, okay, let's move on to our actual news story for the week. We only have the one. But it is probably a bummer for some people. EA had a Black Panther game in development. They have canceled it, and they're closing the studio that was making it as well, Cliffhanger Games. This is the 3rd round of layoffs at EA just this year, in the first 6 months of the year. So yeah, this game is not coming anymore. And they said that, quote, they are doing this to sharpen their focus, sharpen our focus, and put our creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities, end quote, which was not Black Panther apparently. So I mean, I feel like we talked about this game at some point, but it has been completely out of the news since that moment. And I don't know, like, does this surprise you? Did you
No,
feel anything for this game? Like,
no. They haven't shown any gameplay or anything like that. I made a joke uh, saying they canceled all the DEI games because I mean, even though this is not EA, but they did cancel the Wonder Woman game, and now
yeah,
they're canceling like Black Panther, which is a black person.
yeah,
Uh, but the other games are still coming out. They said they still going to release like Captain America and you know uh, Iron Man game that's coming out. They're still releasing those games or whatever. So I just made a joke saying like
hey, I mean, it's a fair point.
yeah
It's
I,
not
I
not wrong to point out.
yeah
I mean,
I
the issue is like, That's probably not. That's obviously probably not
That's
the
obviously not
reason.
it. Yeah.
It's just like these characters, like Wonder Woman and Black Panther, aren't that popular. You know, it's like compared to Iron Man and Captain America. I mean, those are like the heavy hitters in Marvel versus Black Panther, who's probably a B-lister at best in the Marvel universe, and then Wonder Woman in DC is similarly probably a B-lister.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that they're B-listers. I
Okay, maybe
think,
low
especially,
A.
yeah,
They're
I
not.
would.
They're not Superman
But
and
yeah, they're
Batman
obviously not.
though.
They're not Superman and Batman, and even Iron Man himself. Before
Yeah.
the Iron Man movie came out, he wasn't an A tier like hero.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I would argue most of the Avengers weren't A tier characters or A tier like as far as popularity. Like the
I think
thing that
Marvel in general had that problem before the MCU though. Like DC, like Superman and Batman were way popular than anything Marvel had. I think
yeah,
before that
the
stuff.
only thing that Marvel really had, to be honest with you, was Spider Man
Spider-Man.
and X Men. Like
Yeah.
those were like those
True.
were the two that they had. Like I'm talking about, and I know like DJ's a huge comic book reader, so I'm just talking about in casual appearance. But I think especially Black Panther. Black Panther was like ballooned all the way up, especially after the Black Panther movie. And what Bronson Chadwick did for the character, Chadwick Boseman, and for the character, uh, I think that ballooned the character, like, that character way up to the stratosphere of like super popular, and like
Yeah.
even Wonder Woman, but not I but I say that right, like my mom's like a casual like superhero person, and she loved Wonder Woman. She loves Wonder Woman, and she was very hyped for the first Wonder Woman movie that came out because she loved
Mm.
it. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
the idea of a woman being in the same stratosphere as the fucking Justice League and everything like that. Like that was like groundbreaking and shit like that. So I think there are a lot of people who are looking forward to this game, even like non people who are not women. I was looking forward to a Wonder Woman game because I really wanted a Wonder Woman game. I didn't know what a Black Panther game would look like, but I was interested to see what they're gonna do. If they're gonna do the same kind of like Batman arcade Arkham Knight system, or if they're gonna try something
Yeah.
new with the
Yeah.
space or whatever. And for what I hear, they were actually trying something new as far as the action game. So it kind of sucks that we're not gonna get to experience that or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. Then Wonder Woman using the Nemesis system, I was like she'd probably use her lasso of truth to like talk to somebody, talk to an evildoer or whatever. Then something happens or whatever. Like that shit would be cool as fuck. Like I don't know, man. Like I don't know
Yeah.
that it's just gone now. Like we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna experience that shit. So uh, it does suck that you know EA is closing these studios or whatever. And I don't know, man. EA is like I just think they're the wrong people to give like your licensing stuff to. Like they have very talented studios, but the publishers themselves, they just they just don't know what to do. I'll be very interested in see what EA looks like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I think they just need to get like very new blood out into the executive wing of EA. People that actually know video games. That's the frustrating part about EA, right? I feel like they actually had video game people and I know like some of the developers and some of the CEOs, I believe, were developers at one point. But I feel like they got like a someone akin to like Sean Layton or something like that, right? In the helm of EA, like they would be unstoppable, and like that's what makes me so upset about EA. Like they have the capacity to be unstoppable, they just don't want to be because they're just so greedy. Like, but that money would come later, you
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. Like Andrew Wilson, he actually had a quote here with this announcement. He said, "quote the company will be moving away from development of future licensed IP that we do not believe will be successful in our changing industry." So I mean, he's being specific about Black Panther here, but I do think this is a notable that we talked about licensed IP being like taking over Insomniac and other studios and stuff, and it kind of makes me wonder: is that becoming a prevalent opinion that we need to go back to our own ideas? Because I mean, I'm all for that if that's the direction the industry is going to take.
Mhm.
Um, or is this just a specific thing with EA? I think to your other point about like leadership, I think Andrew Wilson knows what he's doing. I think the issue is he doesn't. I think in the certain spaces of their business, he's not gonna shake the boat, right? Like with the sports games, right? Which is where we
Yeah.
want some innovation to happen. That's his bread and butter. He knows how much money that makes the company. He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna touch that unless there's a real reason to actually do something different there. Unfortunately, that's like the businessman part of him coming out. I think as like a CEO though, like he does they do try some interesting things over at EA. I mean, they have that deal with the studio that did Split Fiction. You know, like I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like they're not completely devoid of creativity over there. It's just I think it's like he is a businessman too, though. You know, and it's like
Yeah.
Madden and fucking EA Sports Club FC make money hand over fist every year. Why would we change anything? You know, it's like there's really not a reason to. So it's I don't know. They're kind of a weird they're a company in a weird spot because I'm like you. I do wonder what do they look like in 10 or 20 years. Are they just going to be a company completely reliant on their microtransaction business through sports games, or will they actually innovate at some point in that space? Who knows? We'll certainly pay attention and find out, but um you know, I don't know, could go either way.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so yeah, this Black Panther game's not happening. You know, it is sad to see a studio close as a result as well. Part of it too, that's never fun. So hope those people land on their feet somewhere. But we'll see what other games. You know, does Insomniac continue to be a Marvel factory, or is Sony? Do you think Sony might like be rethinking that whole partnership? Because as they chase live service games, that is something to think about with them. The profit margin on licensed games is probably not very high, you know, relative to making your own shit. Um, so I would be very curious, like with the budget of something like Spider-Man 3 being like 400 million fucking dollars, you know, how much money does Sony actually make on that game? You know, if it sells 10 million copies, you know,
Yeah.
it's probably not that insane how much money they're making on it, you know. And I think in their future, it's like they really need to consider if those games make sense, because I feel like Insomniac could be making their own games, you know, based on their own IP and selling just as much, you know.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, why are you spending so much money on a licensed game? You know, making licensed games. So
Well, I
but
will say too, I kind of want to roll back what I said a little bit earlier too. Not necessarily roll back, but like kind of agree with you about like EA, Andrew Wilson, and everything like that.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think you can read to the trends of what's going on in the market right now, and
Yeah.
the reality is, um, superhero stuff isn't as popular as it was 5 years
Yeah.
ago, 10 years
Right.
ago,
Definitely.
and these games are 5 or 10 years, in my opinion, too late. So it does make sense to cancel them, like, um, because they're just not as popular anymore. You know, that
For
phase
certain
as
ones, yeah, don't flood the
cer-
market, right?
yeah, exactly. Certain ones have came and went. You know, so
Right. We had a Guardians of the Galaxy game that fucking, you know, for all intents and purposes failed, you know, and that Guardians is huge. Like as like a movie franchise, it just didn't do that well as a game.
but
So
critically, it was like one of the best games ever. But yeah, like you're right, it just
it
didn't.
was an excellent game, but yeah, it just, you know, audiences weren't that interested in it. So that fatigue is real too, to a degree. And can Black Panther and like Wonder Woman punch through that fatigue? I don't think so. You know, it's
I
like
just think it's very dangerous right now in the climate that we're in. Uh, everybody's like very, like I said, I understand it. I think one aspect is making it easier to cancel because Wonder Woman is a woman, and they might be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know you're putting this DEI crap in our face," and it's like it's Wonder Woman. She's been around for like literally like
You're
40,
right.
50, 60,
100
70
years,
years.
more
Yeah,
than
100
that.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, what are we talking about? And then Black Panther's been around for like 30 years, I believe, 30 or 40 years. So it's like, what are we talking about? With that. So I don't know. I do think it's interesting what people are doing, but it does make sense to get rid of those games from a business standpoint.
Yeah, dude. Black Panther was created in 1966, actually, and Wonder Woman was 1941. So, oh yeah, wartime comic book era. That makes sense.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, because wasn't some of her first storylines like World War II stuff?
I think so. I think she was actually like deflecting bullets from Nazis. I remember seeing
Like she was
she was
DC's answer to Captain America, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I mean it's a similar thing with the shield and everything, and all that. So interesting. So, all right, well, that's all we got today, Montrell. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out of here?
Nope, that is it for me.
All right, well, we'll call it there. Not a super long episode today, but I think we had some good discussions. All right, everybody. If you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please subscribe to us on YouTube as well. If you'd like to interact with the show on Twitter, you can do so at The Player's Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com with any questions or comments you have. We'll read those on the show. And that's it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
Last minute, 11th hour, right? I'm about to end the show, and this guy just comes in. All right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so you're right. So Wonder Woman was created during World War II, but she was. You remember during World War II, a lot of men obviously went overseas to fight, so a lot of women were in the workforce. And you remember like the "We Can Do" attitude, like that woman poster. She was kind of inspired by that, and that's why she was created.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Anyway.
All good. All right. Well, we're done. See you guys later. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Later.